Many thanks for joining us on the newsroom. I am Annetta Felix. Nigeria's COVID-19 toll now stands at 12,486, with the emergence of 260 new cases. The figure was confirmed by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. In a tweet on Sunday night, the agency said Abia State recorded the highest number of infections for the day in the country, with 67 cases, while the Federal Capital Territory and Lagos State had 40 and 38 cases respectively. Of the number of positive cases in Nigeria, 3,959 persons have fully recovered and discharged, with 354 deaths, according to the latest figure from the NCDC. Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State has tested positive for COVID-19. The State Commissioner for Information, John Kalu, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. According to the Commissioner, Governor Ikpeazu had on May 30th volunteered his sample for COVID-19 test. He said the first results turned negative, but another sample which was taken for the confirmation of the first test returned positive. The Commissioner said Governor Ikpeazu has since gone into isolation and is being managed by a team of medical practitioners. The Governor has directed his deputy, Udechukwu, to act on his behalf pending his recovery and resumption of duties. The National Association of Resident Doctors has issued a notice of strike effective Monday, June 15, 2020. The association said the call to strike also includes doctors attending to COVID-19 patients and other emergencies. The national president of NAD, Aliyu Sokomba, said this in an official letter, saying the strike would be total regardless of the current pandemic. Sokomba said the action had become necessary due to the failure of the government to redeem its pledges, especially in the areas of salary arrears and working conditions. While sympathizing with Nigerians and patients as a whole, the doctor says they could no longer condone government neglect. A public health physician, Adebayo Akintayo, has thrown his weight behind the Presidential Task Force for the new guidelines on treatment and discharge of COVID-19 patients in the country. Speaking on TV360's flagship program, the G360, Dr. Akintayo said the decision is based on specific and scientific evidence owing to economic restraints, and that it's important to modify management procedures as more infections have been reported across the country.
Judging against the background that we are in a low resource setting country, we don't have all the necessary resources to throw around just like it happens in other places. So we have to ensure that we are using scientific knowledge to make informed decisions in order to prioritize how we are going to dispense our resources. But I can assure you that if the information, if that protocol change will adversely affect the welfare and the well-being of the people in the community, I'm sure the medical practitioners would not allow that to happen. So it's an informed decision that is based on scientific evidence and again on the basis of the economic resources available to, at our disposal at this very moment. The most critical period when the infection will be is within the first week. Then after the first week, the viral load, depending on the immunity status of the person, may gradually wane down. And as a result of that, particularly when people observe all those public health precautions that we have highlighted out, which includes social distancing, physical and social distancing, universal application of masks by everyone, the personal hygiene protocols as well, the hand washing and the decontamination of frequently touched places. By the time all those ones are adopted, to a very great extent, gradually we will develop what we call the herd immunity.
We'll be back on the newsroom to update you with stories in sports and more.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency project. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that ballot.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
Troops of the Joint Military Operation Will Stroke, or PWS, have repelled an attack launched by suspected herdsmen on 3 villages in Guma Council of Benue State. A statement released by Coordinator Defense Media Operations Major General John Nenche confirmed that the military onslaught took place over the weekend. The Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO, Benue Command, DSP Catherine Anini, also confirmed the attack but said the command was yet to ascertain the number of casualties. She added that the intervention of the Joint Military Task Force averted further attacks in the affected areas. Political analysts have lauded Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State for scrapping the payment of pension to former governors, deputies and speakers of the state. Reacting on the matter, columnist and analyst Jide Ojo says this move is one that should be adopted by other states. He added that monies saved from the pension reform should be channeled into the development of infrastructure and other amenities for the benefit of Imo citizens.
Some of the governors are billionaires in their own right. Why would they still allow a legislation that will put them on life pension? And for Imo, it didn't even stop at the governor and deputy governor. It went up to speaker and deputy speaker of the state house of assembly. That 1.2 billion that will be saved annually, I hope it can be used to improve the infrastructure of Imo State. Because I was in Imo State last year, and I knew that that state is facing a dearth of infrastructure. The road network was very bad, at least during the period that I passed up in September of 2019. So you cannot have few handful individuals that are plunging, into taking advantage of state resources. The state resources that is not free, that is not sufficient to ameliorate the surface of the people. You are different. I mean, I don't want to use the word different. You are taking it to live large on behalf of the people. That isn't right.
Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has launched the Kano State Rural Grazing Area, RUGA, the first cattle-herded settlement in the country, where the nomads are to be accommodated for expansive grazing of their flock. The governor inaugurated the first phase of 25 housing units out of the projected 200 situated on 4,413 hectares of land. Ganduje explained that the measure would effectively resolve the conflict between herdsmen and farmer owners in the country. Oil prices climbed on Monday after major producers agreed to extend a deal on record output cuts to the end of July, and as China's crude imports hit an all-time high in May. Brent crude was up 51 cents at $42.81 a barrel, while U.S. crude rose 32 cents to $39.87 a barrel. Both hit their highest since March 6th, earlier in the session at $43.41 a barrel and $40.44 a barrel, respectively. Brent has nearly doubled since the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, Russia and their allies, collectively known as OPEC Plus, agreed in April to cut supply by 9.7 million barrels per day. On Saturday, OPEC Plus agreed to extend the deal to withdraw almost 10% of global supplies from the market by a third month to end July. Armed men dressed in military uniform have attacked a village of Fulani herders in central Mali, killing at least 20 people. The attackers on Friday targeted the village of Benidama in Mopti region, which has seen dozens of tit-for-tat ethnic massacres over the past few years. Confirming the attack, mayor of the community said between 20 and 30 people were killed by the men in military attire. Mali has been in crisis since 2015 when Al-Qaeda-linked militants seized its desert north. French forces intervened the following year to drive them back, but the militants have since regrouped and extended their operations into neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger. Football legends in Nigeria and across the world have paid tribute to former Super Eagles captain and coach Stephen Keshi 4 years after his death. World Football Governing Body FIFA, Confederation of Africa Football, Nigeria Football Federation and Eagles assistant coach Joseph Yobo were among those who paid tribute to the ex-Eagles coach. Keshi was the only man after Mahmoud El Gouhari to win the Africa Cup of Nations as a player and a coach. He passed away after suffering a heart attack at the age of 54 on June 7th, 2016. And that's it for now on the newsroom. Do join us again in an hour. Bye for now.